Shout out to Shedeur, bro.
Hell of a game yesterday. 364.
I hope Shedeur is not there next year.
TD.
You did what you had to do, bro.
I hope Shedeur gets straight to the Vegas.
To the Raiders.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He deserves
Shout out
that.
to Shedeur, man.
Get well soon to
Did
the
what he
Browns
had to do,
fans,
bro.
boy.
Fuck the coach.
You're a hell of a pro,
Shit.
bro. You're the only person ever in the NFL history to have to go through some shit like this, bro.
And you the 5th rounder.
Yeah.
And you performing, bro.
Performing. Playing well.
Yeah, like
Jeff Teague just went off on Kevin Stefanski after what happened to Shedeur Sanders in that Titans game, and what he said about Stefanski potentially sabotaging a black quarterback is about to send shockwaves through the NFL. On his podcast, Teague didn't hold back, saying some choice words about the coach and calling Shedeur the ultimate pro for dealing with treatment that no other fifth-rounder has ever experienced in NFL history. But here's the explosive part that has everyone talking. Teague said, "You're the only person ever in the NFL history to go through some mess like this, bro, and you're a fifth-rounder?" While pointing out that Shedeur had a better game than Cam Ward, the #1 overall pick. The former NBA champion then dropped this bomb. Any other fifth-rounder, everybody in the world would be praising this. Oh my God, it's unbelievable that he played this well. Essentially saying Shedeur is being treated differently because of who he is. Teague even started fantasizing about Shedeur joining the Falcons, saying, "I wouldn't be mad if boy Shedeur in Atlanta, we back Sanders, baby, we back." While his co-hosts talked about bringing Coach Prime and Shiloh to complete the family reunion. The most damning part? When they showed Stefanski's press conference avoiding questions about taking Shedeur off the field for that 2-point conversion, Teague's reaction was brutal, calling out a coach who clearly won't be there next year for what looks like systematic sabotage of a talented black quarterback who's performing at an elite level despite never getting first-team reps.
Yeah,
He
like
get first team reps.
Like, you
looks
really
amazing.
the ultimate pro already.
any other 5th rounder, everybody in the world would be praising this.
Oh, they
Like,
would be
oh
going
my
crazy.
God, it's unbelievable that he played this well. as
And
a
he
5th
played for the
rounder.
Browns.
He
Like,
had 364
it's the Browns,
yards,
bro. Come on,
Against
man.
Cam Ward.
He had a better game than a number one pick, bro.
Right, they play different defenses, but still.
Fuck that. Nigga, I was supposed to be in the round with you.
I went 5th.
I damn near went undrafted. Nigga, I had 5 draft parties.
Look, I need you to understand something right now. What Jeff Teague just said on his podcast is the realest commentary we've gotten from any athlete about what Shedeur Sanders is going through in Cleveland. Jeff Teague isn't some random talking head. He's an NBA champion who knows what it's like to deal with professional sports organizations. He understands the politics, the agendas, and the nonsense that athletes have to navigate. So when he goes on his podcast and starts going off about Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, you better believe people are paying attention. Let me set the scene for you because this podcast episode was loaded with controversial takes that have the NFL world buzzing. Teague and his crew were breaking down the weekend in football, and when they got to the Browns-Titans game, you could feel the frustration building. They showed Stefanski's press conference where a reporter asked him about the 2-point conversion decision, and Stefanski gave the most generic, avoiding answer possible. Listen to what Stefanski said. He thought throughout the game, which we knew he would. Obviously, with any young player, there's going to be ups and downs, and I thought there were some really good moments. He'll keep learning from some of the plays that he wants back. Ups and downs? Shedeur threw for 360-plus yards and 4 touchdowns. Where are the downs in that performance? But then the reporter asked the crucial question. What was supposed to happen on that last 2-point conversion? And Stefanski's response was pathetic. Yeah, not going to get into all the specifics, Jeff, but obviously did not go as we thought it would. Not going to get into the specifics? Your franchise quarterback just led 2 touchdown drives to give you a chance to tie the game, and you take him off the field for the most important play, and you're not going to explain why? The reporter pressed him. Why would you take him off? And Stefanski's answer was even worse. Yeah, it's a 2-point play. Didn't come through on our first 2-point play. Got to the second 2-point play. We didn't come through, but that's on me. That's on me? If it's on you, then why are you making excuses instead of taking real responsibility? Jeff Teague watched that press conference and his reaction was immediate and brutal. He said, yeah, he didn't want to answer nothing about that. I can't wait to talk to Zeke tomorrow. And then one of his co-hosts dropped this bomb. He won't be there next year. And Teague agreed. Oh, no. He will not. Y'all, Jeff Teague is predicting that Kevin Stefanski is going to be fired after this season. And based on what we're seeing, can you blame him? But here's where Teague really went off and said what everyone has been thinking. He turned his attention to Shedeur Sanders and said, shout out to Shedeur, bro. Hell of a game yesterday, 360. One of his co-hosts interrupted, I hope Shedeur is not there. And another co-host added, I hope Shedeur gets straight to Vegas. Straight to Vegas? They're already talking about getting Shedeur out of Cleveland and into a better situation. But then Jeff Teague said something that's going to resonate with every Shedeur supporter. He said, shout out to Shedeur, man. Forget the coach. You're a hell of a pro, bro. You're the only person ever in the NFL history to go through some mess like this, bro. And you're a 5th rounder. Forget the coach. Jeff Teague just told Kevin Stefanski what everyone's been thinking. But the powerful part of what Teague said is this. You're the only person ever in the NFL history to go through some mess like this, bro. What does that mean? What is Teague saying that Shedeur is going through that no other player has experienced? He's talking about a 5th-round pick who is buried on the depth chart behind Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel, never got first-team reps until he was named the starter, had his character assassinated by scouts and the media, was told he only got drafted because of his name, finally gets his chance and immediately makes history, throws for 360-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, leads 2 touchdown drives to give the team a chance to tie the game, gets taken off the field for the most crucial play. That's what Teague is talking about. That's the mess that no other 5th-rounder has ever had to deal with. And then Teague added this crucial statement. You're performing, bro. Performing, playing well. Yeah, you get first-team reps. You really the ultimate pro already. The ultimate pro already? Jeff Teague is calling a rookie in his 3rd start the ultimate pro because of how he's handling all the adversity. But here's where Teague really exposed the double standard that Shedeur is facing. One of his co-hosts said, any other 5th-rounder, everybody in the world would be praising this. Oh my God, it's unbelievable that he played this well. Any other 5th-rounder? That's the key phrase right there. If anyone else, any quarterback not named Shedeur Sanders was drafted in the 5th round and immediately started throwing for 360-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, the entire NFL world would be celebrating them as the steal of the draft. But because it's Shedeur Sanders, because it's Deion's son, because it's a confident black quarterback who refuses to shrink himself, he gets different treatment. The co-host continued, and he played for the Browns. He liked the Browns, bro. Even when Shedeur is performing at an elite level, people still find ways to diminish it. Oh, it's just the Browns. Oh, it's just the Titans. There's always an excuse. But then T dropped this comparison that's going to make the Cam Ward versus Shedeur debate even more intense. He said, against Cam Ward, he had a better game than the #1 pick, bro. Better game than the #1 pick? Cam Ward, the #1 overall selection who got $53 million more guaranteed than Shedeur, got outplayed by the 5th-round pick. One of the co-hosts tried to be fair. They played different defenses, but still. But Teague wasn't having it. He said, forget that. Forget I was supposed to be in the round with you. I went 5th.
I know.
Boy, Shedeur, ACL.
I wouldn't be mad at Shedeur, boy. Shedeur in Atlanta.
We back.
Oh, yeah.
Nigga.
We back.
Boy.
The Sanders, baby, we back.
That should be so lit.
Our Deion's coach. It's lit.
Ooh, we really
Nah,
back.
hell no.
We getting little bro on
Nah,
the team,
yeah,
too.
hell
I'm
nah.
fucking
Nah.
big
Bring back
bro.
Shiloh. We
We
lit.
big bro on the team, yeah.
Yeah.
Deion Jr.
We getting the
I
camera
see
it too.
We getting the camera ready? Yeah, come on.
Y'all, Jeff Teague is expressing the frustration that everyone feels about how Shedeur was treated in the draft process. He's saying, I was supposed to be drafting where you were, but I went 5th. That's the injustice of it all. Shedeur Sanders is a 1st or 2nd round talent who fell to the 5th round because of narratives and agendas. And then one of the co-hosts added this powerful statement. I definitely went undrafted. Forget I had 5 draft parties. The room erupted in laughter because they understood the pain of that statement. Imagine having 5 different draft parties because you're so confident you're getting drafted high, and then you fall and fall and fall. The co-host continued, then just started a live stream. Just let this thing just keep rolling. So much bro that goes into this, bro, for him to still be locked in and to kill, bro. To kill. That's what Shedeur is doing. He's killing it on the field despite all the adversity. And Teague's response was simple but powerful. Facts. To deliver this thing impressive. Impressive. Even Jeff Teague, an NBA champion who's seen elite athletes at the highest level, is impressed by what Shedeur Sanders is doing. But here's where the conversation took a wild turn that has Browns fans terrified and Falcons fans excited. One of the co-hosts said, I ain't mad, but we got 2 pins. And Teague responded, yeah, I know, boy, Shedeur. And the co-host dropped this bomb. I wouldn't be mad if boy Shedeur in Atlanta. And the entire room started hyping the idea. One person said, we back. Another person yelled, oh yeah, we back Sanders, baby, we back. Someone else added, that thing will be so lit. Y'all, Jeff Teague and his crew are already plotting how to get Shedeur Sanders to the Atlanta Falcons. But it gets even better. One of them said, and Deion's coach, it's lit. Wait, they want to bring Coach Prime to Atlanta too? And then someone else said, we really back. Hell no, we getting Lil Bro on the team too. Forget Shiloh. They want the entire Sanders family in Atlanta. Shedeur at the quarterback, Coach Prime as the head coach, Shiloh on defense. Someone even said, Big Bro on the team, Junior, we getting the camera ready. They're talking about bringing the whole production, the cameras, the content, the culture that the Sanders family brings. Can you imagine Shedeur Sanders throwing to Drake London and Kyle Pitts, B. John Robinson in the backfield, Coach Prime on the sideline, Shiloh making plays on defense? Atlanta would become the most watched team in the NFL overnight. But here's the reality check that one of them gave. Y'all trying to be terrible, because Colorado is literally the worst team in the NCAA. He's talking about tanking. Some Falcons fans might want the team to lose games to get a higher draft pick so they can select Shiloh Sanders. But another co-host clapped back. Well, the Falcons ain't that much better, so let's anyway. And someone else just said, Falcons struggling. Ouch. They're not holding back on the current state of the Falcons, but the dream scenario they're painting is real. Because you know what? Shedeur Sanders deserves to be in a better situation than Cleveland. Let me be clear. I'm not saying Cleveland is a terrible city or that the fans are bad. Browns fans are some of the most loyal, passionate fans in all of sports. They deserve to have a franchise quarterback. But the organization, the coaching staff, the way they've handled Shedeur Sanders, that's been terrible. And Jeff Teague isn't afraid to say it. He's calling out Kevin Stefanski. He's expressing frustration about the draft process. He's celebrating Shedeur's performance, and he's already thinking about better situations for this young quarterback. Because here's the truth. Shedeur Sanders has shown in 3 starts that he's a franchise quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's got double-digit touchdowns. He's showing elite accuracy, pocket presence, and playmaking ability. He's making plays in and out of structure. He's handling pressure. He's leading fourth-quarter comebacks. Everything you want in a franchise quarterback, Shedeur Sanders is showing it. But Kevin Stefanski and the Browns organization keep finding ways to undermine him, taking him off the field for crucial plays, running trick plays that don't work, making questionable coaching decisions, giving generic praise instead of celebrating what this young man is accomplishing. And people like Jeff Teague, athletes who know what it's like to deal with organizational dysfunction, are speaking up and calling it out. When Teague says forget the coach and predicts Stefanski won't be there next year, he's not just being provocative. He's reading the tea leaves. He's seeing the writing on the wall. Kevin Stefanski has a 5-31 record over his last 36 games. The Browns just lost to a 1-win Titans team. The decision-making has been questionable all season. And now you have a 5th-round rookie who's outperforming the #1 overall pick, making history in his first 3 starts, and the coach is taking him off the field for the game-deciding play? That's not just bad coaching. That looks like sabotage. And Jeff Teague is brave enough to say what everyone's thinking. Look, I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski is deliberately trying to make Shedeur fail, but I am saying that his decisions are making it harder for Shedeur to succeed. And when you combine that with all the other factors, the media assassination, the draft day fall, the depth chart burial, the lack of first-team reps, it creates a pattern that's hard to ignore. Shedeur Sanders is facing adversity that, as Jeff Teague said, no other person in NFL history has had to deal with as a fifth-rounder. And he's handling it with grace, maturity, and elite performance. That's why people are already fantasizing about getting him out of Cleveland and into a better situation. Whether it's Atlanta, Las Vegas, or anywhere else, Shedeur Sanders deserves to be in an organization that appreciates what they have. Because right now, the Browns are treating a franchise quarterback like he's lucky to be there. And that's backwards. Shedeur Sanders is the best thing that's happened to the Browns in years. And if they don't recognize that soon, they're going to lose him. And teams like Atlanta, with Jeff Teague already recruiting him on his podcast, are going to be ready to snatch him up. So here's my question for all of you. Is Jeff Teague right when he says Shedeur is dealing with treatment no other person in NFL history has ever had to deal with as a fifth-rounder? And if Kevin Stefanski keeps making these questionable decisions that undermine Shedeur, is it fair to call it sabotage? Should Shedeur demand a trade to a team like Atlanta that would actually appreciate his talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this Jeff Teague rant is going viral and everyone's talking about whether there's an agenda against Shedeur. And if you think Shedeur deserves better than what he's getting in Cleveland, smash that subscribe button because we're going to keep exposing how this organization is wasting a generational talent. Jeff Teague went off and predicted Stefanski won't be there next year, and honestly, he might be right. Let's go.